In this video, me and Blademaster are taking a look at the Shieldwall ability. On these Herdmen, Shieldwall is a very interesting ability, because it's going to increase entity mass by 100%, it's going to increase shield defense by 15, it's going to give a plus 15 attack bonus against infantry, and a plus 25 missile block chance. Now, the reason why I chose these Herdmen for the test is because they have fairly good defensive stats for their price. They have a lot of health, a decent amount of armor, but the charge bonus of 15 is identical to the bonus versus infantry they get in Shieldwall. So I'm going to charge Blademaster's Herdmen, and an interesting thing to note is that if you have the unit threat level option enabled, when I mouse over Blademaster's units, the game tells me that Blademaster's units are a high threat for my units, while when Blademaster mouses over my units, the game tells him that my units are a low threat to his units. So the stat increases from the Shieldwall tells the game, and the game tells us, that it's probably not a good idea to engage these Herdmen frontally with these Herdmen. So let's see how the engagement goes. Attack orders have been given, and this test was originally set up to see if the Herdmen fatigued less quickly than the other, the defensive ability Herdmen fatigued less quickly than the Herdmen in defensive formation. So we're going to be looking at two things here. We're going to be looking at the cost to stamina of being in a defensive position and fighting, compared to the cost of not being in a defensive position, charging and fighting. So, have a look at the stamina. Right away, the Herdmen that are in a defensive formation start to do better against the Herdmen that are not in a defensive position. I'll just stop it here, because you hear me saying Herdmen. That is an Anglo-Saxonized version of the word. The Scandinavian way, or the Norwegian more specifically, the Old Norse way to pronounce it would be Hirdmen. So I might just say the Nordic names in as close to Old Norse as I can. So it's going to be Hirdmen. So the Herdmen that are in the Shieldwall beat on these guys. They both reach winded at about the same time. These guys are going to get tired quicker, and the reason for that is because charging also comes with a cost to stamina. So when you charge, while you have the charge animation, you're going to fatigue quicker. But all across the line here, the Herdmen of Blademaster, they are beating up my Herdmen that charged. And what that basically means is that if you have infantry without precursor javelins and sort of a mid-level charge, you're not going to want to engage a shield wall of units of a similar price. In that case, and already I've lost a unit of Herdmen down here. The Herdmen that attacked first, they are broken, and the Herdmen that were in Shieldwall, they are exhausted. So now we know defensive abilities do not protect significantly against fatigue. But what's also worth noting about the Shieldwall is that after the engagement ends, and this might happen if the enemy pulls out as well, the Shieldwall is going to form up like this. So it's a bit buggy. The Shieldwall can, like, if this happened in a battle and these guys were protecting something, that would be disastrous. But all across the line, the Herdmen of Blademaster have defeated my Herdmen, and that's basically it. So the Herdmen that were in the defensive shield wall were able to beat on the Herdmen that were charging. It did not reduce their fatigue levels. They got fatigued just as quickly as the charging Herdmen, but you can see how useful a shield wall is going to be in both protecting you against missiles and in increasing killing power against infantry. So very interesting stuff. I certainly did not expect this result to be as decisive as it was, because this is major. This is hugely significant. So in another video we'll look at what happens when the charging unit has precursor javelins and a better charge bonus. But using shield wall on these low tier infantry units can be super useful if they have a bonus against infantry attached to their shield wall ability. Strength and honor.